Welcome back to WVUT's 22 Magazine. Old Town Players will be presenting The Haunting of Hill House later this month. The show will run on consecutive weekends, October 28th, 29th, and 30th, and again November 4th, 5th, and 6th. The Old Town Players Community Theater is located at 432 Broadway Street. Joining me now to talk about the play are Steve Gray, treasurer of the Old Town Players Board of Directors, and Vicki Puffer, Old Town Players Board Secretary. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Before we talk about the play, this is just initially the opening play of the season, and we want to talk about some of the other shows that Old Town Players is going to be performing in the future. So let's start with that, Steve.
We have 4 regular season productions. As you said, we're starting out with The Haunting of Hill House, which is apt being in the Halloween season. It's kind of something of a follow-up to last season's Frankenstein. It was a big success. So we normally do a lot of comedies, but that was a drama that we did that people reacted very positively to, so we're kind of following that up with another in the same vein. After that, we have Dashing Through the Snow, which Vicki directs.
No, that's Jack directs that one.
Jack directs that one. You're doing Red, White, and Tuna, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jason Keller's doing Hill House.
And Jason Keller, I should say that. Jason Keller, who directed Frankenstein last year, is our director for Hill House. Dashing Through the Snow, Jack Mahoney, our vice president and a longtime veteran director, will be directing that one, this Christmas show. Following that, we'll have
Play It Again, Sam.
Play It Again, Sam, directed by Darrell Walvin.
That one's based on the movie by
Woody Allen.
And Woody Allen did write it, so it's good comedy.
Yeah, it's originally a stage. You know, people know it from the movie probably more than most of Neil Simon's other works, but it was a play too. It started out that way. So we'll be doing that, which is a classic. Should be very good. And then Red, White, and Tuna, which follows up with a trilogy of plays about Tuna, Texas, and the Futrell sisters.
No, that's not Futrell sisters.
Oh, that's okay. Maybe I should let Vicki talk.
Maybe you better let Vicki talk about that segment.
Yeah, that's another trilogy that we did. But yeah, okay, Red, White, and Tuna.
Yeah.
It's a classic, very well received, very broad humor, very funny, very popular series, and this is another in that series of shows.
Yeah, and then I'll be directing that one.
And Vicki will be directing that one.
How do people go about purchasing tickets?
Vicki?
Oh, that's very easy. You can buy them at several places in the community. The Vincent's University Bookstore, iWorks, or First Vincent Savings Banks. They carry both our single admission tickets and our season passes, what we call our multi-pass tickets that you can use for 4 separate admissions, and you can use them in any combination you see fit. So they're available then, and then they're also available about an hour before each showtime. You can buy them there in the lobby.
And obviously, a lot of expenses involved in putting on productions, from costumes to the set pieces and that sort of thing. So do you do any fundraising? Are you involved with fundraising right now to raise money to help pay the cost for those productions?
Yes.
Ticket sales do not cover it all.
They hardly even scratch the surface of the costs involved, particularly when you consider we have our own facility. There are a lot of community theaters that depend on high schools or colleges or wherever or churches to stage their productions. We have our own building. We own that building, and I will say that in December we will have our mortgage paid off. First Baptist Church was very good in selling us the building at a reasonable price. I think we bought it 15 years ago, something like that. Will be paid off in December, so we're going to have a big celebration with that.
You bet.
But even still, there's insurance, there's maintenance. Of course, it's an older building, the upkeep, the utilities, all the expenses associated with running a business and maintaining a facility. We have all those besides the costs of the production, sets, costumes, etc. So we have producers. Number one, I want to mention our producers. For this coming season, Toyota, TMMI, Toyota Manufacturing, Motor Manufacturing of Indiana will be a sponsor for our first show, Hill House. And we'll have, it looks like we're going to have Duke Energy on board as a producer. Also, Duke Energy Foundation will be supporting us. The McCormick Family Foundation will be sponsoring our summer musical in July of 2012. We don't have a title yet. We haven't picked the show, but we want to thank C. James and the Family Foundation for sponsoring us with that. And we still need a couple more producers. It's $1,000, and you get a lot of recognition. You get free tickets along with all that. So we do need 2 more producers for our season. We also have advertisers in the program. We have over 50 businesses, organizations, and individuals that sponsor ads in our program that help fund the costs. And of course, we have our Broadway Society where individuals give at certain giving levels, and they can get tickets along with that. Our Broadway Society, all that information is available in the mailings we've sent out, as well as our website, oldtownplayers.org.
And they really do help carry the freight for your production.
They sure do.
We couldn't do what we're doing at this level without the support of all those folks, that's for sure.
So how do you decide on what plays you're going to put on? I mean, like, for example, you mentioned Frankenstein was popular last year, and now you're doing a similar play during the Halloween season with the Haunting of Hill House.
Well, the directors, those of us who direct annually, we have a small core of them, and we'll read several plays in the course of a year or so and come up with 2 or 3 that we'd like to propose, and we'll present them to our play selection committee, which is headed by our vice president. And he will take them, review them, see what works in what places, and you know, what might go with the season, and puts it all together.
See what's possible within your facility, and whether you can afford to do it or
Exactly. Some shows are too big for the size of our stage. Some would, you know, the royalties might be inhibitive. That's one reason we're really glad that we have the McCormick Family Foundation that sponsored this past summer's musical, and will do so next year too.
Okay, very good. As we mentioned, The Haunting of Hill House kicks off the season. It's a novel by Shirley Jackson. I've never read it personally, but I think there was a movie. Was there a movie
There were
made?
2,
There were 2
as I've
movies?
heard. And one, I wish I'd listened more carefully to Jason when he was talking about this recently, but there is one that's just a few years out, so it's probably available on DVD somewhere.
Maybe William Castle was, I think, directed one of the first versions of it with Vincent Price, perhaps.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that would have been the first one.
And if I remember right, in some of the theaters where it played, they put something in the theater seats to give you a slight electrical shot.
They called it the Tingler, I think it was.
Tingler.
Oh,
The Tingler.
man.
Yeah.
That was their big, it seems like back in the 50s they had a lot of gimmicks like that
Yeah.
to promote, you know, horror film smells or sounds or whatever.
Gosh,
They had,
maybe we could
they had
rig
the
our new
Tingler.
seating with that.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
let's tingle the audience in another way, yeah.
But The Haunting of Hill House, it's more of a psychological thriller as opposed
Yes,
to
it is.
physical horror, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. Unlike Frankenstein last year, it was about the creature and about his interactions. Why this is more of a psychological thriller, which is the kind of stuff I really enjoy. I like for something to tease my brain.
And who's directing it again?
Jason Keller.
Okay. And Jason is also a performer as well.
Oh
in
yes,
Old Town
he
Players.
performs and he's directing. He is also a new member of our board of directors.
Okay, very good. How do you plan for like the costuming and everything like that for a play like this?
That again falls largely on the director. He will assemble a team of an assistant director and lighting and sound technicians, a costumer, various set builders, set painters, and designers. So there are a lot of people working back behind the scenes. They'll go through the script, they'll analyze the characters and come up with appropriate costuming. Some of it we have made, some of it we rent, some of it we construct. Whatever we need, we'll get it done.
Okay.
It's really a matter of the director's vision, how they want to do it. When we did South Pacific a couple years ago, Robin Overby was our director, and he decided on a very minimalistic, because it was a large cast. It was an expensive show to put on royalty-wise. So he decided to go the route where he was going to have minimal sets, and it worked just fine.
Really?
Of course, it's hard to create sky and ocean and beach and all those types of things in a setting such as ours. It's expensive, but it's almost impossible in some ways to make it look realistic. So the best way is to go with the minimalist type of a way, and it worked just fine. Everybody
yeah, it worked
loved
very
it.
well.
Yeah.
It looked good.
And I imagine if you have any kind of, I guess what you call special effects, you have to budget for those as well.
Sure do. During the musical we did last summer, I directed it. We used a flash pot for the first time. It scared the daylights out of me, but I had a wonderful person who volunteered to help with that, who had experience. And so, you know, you had your little poof of smoke and a flash, and then accompanied with the sound effect. It turned out really good. So, yeah, there are all kinds of things that you have to know ahead of time, well ahead of time, before you get into production.
And Steve, one of the things you're trying to do to upgrade the theater is put in some more chairs and remove some of the pews that the audience sits in now.
This is something we've been dealing with for quite a while. It isn't any secret that our pew seating, the original pews in the church, although they're padded on the bottoms and upholstered and all, they can be sometimes, for some people, they can be uncomfortable over a period of time. So we've looked at different ways to try to alleviate it. We looked at reupholstering the seats, and that was going to cost, if we did the bottoms, I think it was going to cost $15,000. If we did the backs too, it'd be $30,000, like unbelievable. So we started looking at, well, what are other options? And I have to give credit to Gary Olson, one of our board members, put all his time into this effort, researched 27 different types of chairs, and put a lot of work into this, and talked to different suppliers and all this, and we've come up with a chair that's we call it premium seating. It's a vinyl accent chair, just like a kind of a chair you would have in your home, and very comfortable. And we're going to be able to take some of the pews out and install some of those seats. We're starting small. We'll have 11 chairs installed for the Haunting of Hill House. And of course, the big problem was funding such a project, because it could be very expensive, because they're about $250 a piece. And we want to thank Regal Furniture for giving us a really good deal and some financing and some things they helped us do. Thanks a lot to Regal Furniture. But the user will actually pay for the chair. Somebody can come in, general, of course all of our seating is general admission anyway. If they pay $5 additional, they'll be able to use one of the new seats for that particular show for that evening. First come, first served basis. So that way we're not tying it up to certain people. It's available, first come, first serve. And by charging that fee over time, we can generate enough money to pay for these chairs and bring in more. We're also applying for grants to buy more additional chairs. Our goal is 31 chairs, which doesn't sound like a lot, but we don't want to totally get away from the pew seating, because for a lot of reasons, the history, the aesthetics with the church building, board members don't want to totally do away with the pews. Plus, they're very flexible for, you can accommodate more people in our theater, which currently seats 150. We put in the chairs, we lose about 2 pew seats for every 1 chair we put in. So we have to be careful there too. But our center section, we're hoping to get up to 31 seats installed there, so that people that want to opt for that can.
Okay, and once again, we want to emphasize, as time is running out, season tickets are on sale now.
Yes, they are on sale now. Adult season tickets are multi-passes, as we call them, are $30, and those for seniors and students of all ages are $25. Regular admission, single admission is $10 for adults and $8 for students and seniors.
And for more information on Old Town Players, where can they go?
You can check out our Facebook page. We're on there, and we're also, our website is oldtownplayers.org.
And Steve, will they also talk about the information for sponsors, for your fundraising? Is that mentioned on your website as well?
I think we have those links available on our website as well, right? Of course, they can always email or call us, for more information. We'd be glad. We can always use more sponsors and supporters.
All right.
Our email address is oldtownplayers@gmail.com.
Gmail.com.
Yeah.
Thank you both for being here today. Appreciate it. We're out of time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tony.
And that's all for this edition of 22 Magazine. Be sure to join us again next time. Good night.